Good morning on Tuesday, November 8th. It's election day, and we voted, and we're here for the daily podcast at 3:59, episode 137 with Roger Cheng and Joan E. Solzman. Good morning, everybody. How are we?
Morning.
Good morning.
How you guys doing? Happy election day. We all voted.
Can we officially use that prefix, happy?
Happy?
Yeah. We'll see.
We'll see, yeah.
Having civic responsibilities is a happy thing.
I agree.
That's true.
Yeah.
I absolutely
That's true.
agree.
So that's worthy of celebration. We'll see tonight. Later.
So we're here to record a podcast.
Yes. Let's get going on that. So we're talking about the Hyperloop 1, teasing they're actually getting started. This is actually going to happen in the United Arab Emirates. They announced the plans to build this thing for 2020. So it's not just a pipe dream. It's not just Elon Musk's crazy sketches on a napkin. It's a thing. Next up, we'll be talking about Samsung issuing another mea culpa, both in a full-page ad in several U.S. papers today, as well as a letter written to customers in Europe. And then lastly, our own Dara Kerr had an inside look at the secret, oh, maybe it's not so secretive, Facebook group.
Not a secret anymore.
Pantsuit Nation.
Thanks,
which
Dara.
you're right, with 2 million members, I guess, isn't really much of a secret. But yes, we'll take a look at that sort of a topical election theme story to round things out. So with that, let's get started. As always, if you have any questions, leave them in the comment section. Brian will grab the best, and we'll try to answer them.
Looking forward to hearing your feedback and talking tech with you after we record the podcast in 3, 2.
Welcome to the 359, where we talk about the top tech news of the day, only the crap we want to throw in. I'm Roger Cheng.
I'm Joan E. Salzman.
So Hyperloop 1 announced that it will build its super fast transport system in the United Arab Emirates first. The company promises to get you from Abu Dhabi to Dubai in 12 minutes, a trip that usually takes about 2 hours by bus. So, Joan, are you ready for the Hyperloop?
I'm ready for Hyperloop to move from the make cool trailers about Hyperloop phase into actually making Hyperloop phase.
Yes, if you check out the video that's on our site right now, it's thumping bass music. It really got me amped up for
It gets
this
you
thing,
excited
right?
for the future that may or may not actually
the future
ever
that's
happen.
at least several years away.
But like you said, only 3 years, possibly.
Right, 2020 theoretically. If this all goes smoothly, and it's supposed to be the start of a network of systems. First, the United Arab Emirates, but really they want to build sort of a set of these things around the world.
Yeah. What is it like? What's the thing they say is San Francisco to New York in 4 hours or something like that?
Right. Wait. San Francisco to New York. Yeah. Was that right?
Maybe faster.
Faster. It should be faster, right? Because I feel like
It should be faster.
should be much, much faster.
Faster, better.
Either way, if it cuts off on time and I don't have to go through TSA security, then I'm all for Hyperloop. I'm all for being put into this little tube and shuttled at 500, 600 miles an hour.
All for it.
All for it. Dangers or risks be damned. All right, next up, more Samsung news. Samsung issued a open letter of apology to its Galaxy Note 7 users in Europe, and as well as took out a full-page ad in several major U.S. newspapers. CEO Greg Lee apologized, saying they're truly sorry about the defective and dangerous Note 7s. Is this enough to kind of get people to forget about it or to forgive Samsung?
Well, one of the things that they say in the ad is we know that I can't remember the words, but it's like we know that your loyalty has to be earned.
Right.
It's that your loyalty is earned, not given. I mean, it's saying all the things that you need to say,
Yep.
but it's easy to say things in an ad. That's
I
what
mean,
ads
it's
are
important
for.
to note, like Volkswagen, I think, did the same thing. They took a full-page ad out after their massive recall.
Wells Fargo took out.
Wells Fargo,
not tech related, but Wells
right.
Fargo did the same thing.
But same deal. Like they've also violated the public's trust. I mean, we'll see. Like I think Volkswagen and definitely Wells Fargo hasn't really rebounded yet.
Mm-hmm.
So I don't know. We'll see. I guess it really depends on whether or not the S8 kind of blows people away, or we'll see. I don't know. It's just more troubles for Samsung.
They're saying I'm sorry a lot is the right thing to say.
Yes.
At least they're saying.
I'm
the right
hoping
thing.
that they follow up with I'm sorry, and here's what happened.
Here's
and
what actually
here's
happened.
why
Here's what went
the
wrong.
next phone's not going to blow up in your face.
Mhm.
All right. Lastly, our own Derek Kerr is an inside look at the so-called secret Facebook group Pantsuit Nation that exploded in popularity just really a day before the election. It really went viral. racked up 2 million members, and there's even a public version of this page. It's provided a safe space for folks to comment, which is increasingly important in this really vitriolic season. What do you think? Is this going to help Hillary, or what's the deal?
Well, there's nothing that's not going to hurt Hillary to have people who love her getting together and telling each other why they love her.
Right.
That can't hurt.
Do you think that's gonna? Is this sort of a start of any kind of trend for private groups, or?
I think that it's interesting that this election season has emphasized how much social media can be. It can be a kind of noisy, uncomfortable space when there's people that disagree with you, and when their rhetoric can be abusive or less. It's easy to say things in an unkind way if you have anonymity.
Definitely. Well, just check out my Twitter feed.
Yeah, there's less of that on Facebook than there is on places like Twitter.
Yeah.
But but there could be something in the idea that private groups become more popular if you're looking for a way to share your own thoughts without having to worry about other people attacking you for them.
Definitely. All right. For more about these stories, check us out on CNET. I'm Roger Chang.
I'm Joni Salzman.
Thanks for listening.
So just out of curiosity, how much are ticket prices looking like for the Hyperloop? Do we have any idea what that speculation is? It's got to be daunting.
I think they're so far away from that right now. It's I don't know. The whole deal about this is supposed to be
attainable.
Yeah.
So they got to strive for something, but we'll just have to wait and see.
Although imagine the first couple of tickets are free. They're like, you want to try it out? Take your shot, roll the dice with this thing.
You got to wonder who would be on the front line for volunteers for that test flight, test,
I don't know.
Test quote unquote flight.
Oh, so just to clear it up, apparently they've clocked the top speed of 760 miles per hour.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's cool.
That is fast.
Cool.
That's cool. However you look at it.
That's cool.
Anybody in the chat interested in taking the Hyperloop? We want to hear your feedback. How much would you pay for a ticket to go from your origin to your destination? Just putting that out there. Via Hyperloop. What do you think is a fair price for that kind of service?
$5.
It's not the MTA.
Yeah, I know.
I would be outraged if the MTA charged
$4 though. $4 if you bought like a 20 trip pass, right?
Right.
Does it
I
come
buy in bulk.
Does it come with
Hyperloop in bulk.
snacks like on an airplane, but they're sprinting down the aisle whipping peanuts at your face because there's not enough time?
I don't know. Actually, that's a fair question. I don't know how much I'd pay. Probably, I don't know, $200, I guess. If I can get from here to LA in an hour?
Yeah.
Wait. So if it's Dubai to Abu Dhabi in 12 minutes, and that's a 2-hour trip normally. Like LA to New York is like 5 hours. If you kind of do the math, it's like 45 minutes or so.
That's about an hour-ish, I would think.
Yeah, like an hour. Getting to LA an hour would be fantastic.
So let's start with the base price point. How much are you paying now to go to LA?
No, like $300.
Yeah.
So you think paying a little more than that would be worthwhile?
I'd probably pay a little bit more, yeah.
Yeah. It'd be interesting. For those of our listeners international who have traveled to Abu Dhabi and whatnot, what do you pay now? And what do you think would be a fair hike to speed the process up? I'm just curious. I'm really curious to see where this could go.
No, I imagine it's one of those things where initially the price is going to be pretty high.
Yeah, of course.
Because,
it's new.
But the whole idea of these things, it's attainable. It's supposed to come down in price. The whole thing is supposed to be fairly cost effective to run. So
right, if it was completely unaffordable, it wouldn't survive. If no one's going to use it, then what's the point? I'm definitely interested. Scanning the chat. Thanks everybody. We're looking at here's some price points: $200, £100, 45 to 60, 50 to 80, 20 to 40. These are pretty standard, transit prices.
It's like a bus ticket.
Yeah,
basically.
Sounds about right.
Yeah, I'm okay with that. I'd be okay with the cheaper price.
What kind of services should be available on the Hyperloop?
Would there be in-loop movies or something?
It's just our podcast because it's short.
Yeah, right. The YouTube clip of the podcast would be too long for some of these trips.
It totally would be.
Right, for that initial run, like 12 minutes. What can you watch? I guess they can.
Well, you couldn't. Would you have in Hyperloop connectivity? Because you couldn't connect to your cellular network.
No, probably not. But they could
There's no way that
they could probably deliver something to you via like the internal system.
An internal Wi-Fi sort of.
Yeah. Well, I don't know if it's internal Wi-Fi or like maybe maybe they'll have just preloaded YouTube videos in the pod itself. Like,
Yeah,
here
I
are
can't
the only
imagine
videos.
connectivity at that speed,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah, that would be. I mean,
Of course, they do it on
Theoret-
air. They kind of do it on airplanes to
theoretically
an extent.
possible. Yeah.
This is out of my realm.
Honestly, I don't know. Like moving 700 miles an hour on the ground. I don't know.
Probably
If cell networks can pick up on that.
Baked Potato Games is probably just a video about Hyperloop. Yeah, they're just going to loop promo videos of their own service in the Hyperloop.
Hey, they're exciting videos. Like,
Love us.
no, they're all like boom, boom, boom. It's very catchy. I was very pumped afterwards.
Here's a good question. I don't know if we're not really physicists here, but what stops the feeling of G-force from inside the Hyperloop?
Well, G-force is when you are increasing or decreasing momentum, right?
Yeah.
Like that's the feeling that you feel. And so I don't know enough about how Hyperloop works. That's a really good question. I don't know.
That's a really good question.
Getting up to that speed, how you...
Let me call Mr. Musk.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I imagine you'd feel something initially, and then that would be it, right? Like once you hit your speed, you're fine. Though, yeah, it's really
Not a physicist.
Yeah, it's really the I guess the takeoff and the landing, or it's the beginning of and the end of the ride that you'd feel something. I guess I don't know. That's
Ben points out that the slow speed up removes the G, much like the acceleration on a lot of roller coasters, I suppose, in a similar concept.
Mm-hmm.
Correct me if I'm wrong, please. I'm very often
7
wrong.
minutes of the 12-minute trip is just like getting up to speed and slowing down, maybe.
And then
and throwing up.
And throwing up.
so yes, there's back to services on the Hyperloop. Do we need barf bags?
Barf bags. Yep.
Do we need bathrooms? That would be interesting to see. So sorry to all of our international listeners and viewers out there, but we're going to talk election real quick. How was everybody's election or polling process this morning?
Uneventful.
Mine was pretty smooth. Yeah, I mean, I live out in the burbs. We have fairly short lines. Everything was really organized. You know, it was not bad.
You didn't get a sticker, though.
I didn't get a sticker.
Poorly
bummer.
organized, I think.
And
is
I'm
how
like
you
looking
should.
at your NYC sticker
My
with
sticker
envy because
is really cool.
like one of our colleagues offered to give me an extra one of hers, but I'm like, I'm not an NYC voter. I can't even qualify for that.
I stole an extra sticker. The election is rigged
For your daughter.
for my daughter.
Yeah. That was the thing. I wanted to get one for my son, but yeah, he's not gonna care now. He's not gonna notice either way.
Going back to the former topic, Sleepy Engineer, thank you for pointing this out. You'd only feel the acceleration, but not at the cruising speed. But when you're in an airplane, there's compression involved. We're curious as to how that applies. And being that you are an engineer, maybe you could help us out. How does this apply on land transportation on this Hyperloop train?
I mean, yeah, I agree on cruising speed. Like once you're at your whatever,
Obviously.
yeah, you're
Obviously.
fine. It's the beginning and the end. Cause,
Being that we're not engineers, we're not physicists, we've
feel
flown
it.
in planes.
You do feel it when you're taking off, right?
Right, you feel the acceleration,
Right.
and then the pressure stabilizes in the cabin
Right.
because of technology that I don't understand in airplanes. Sleepy Engineer, please help us out here. I think you might have more background for us.
Well, he's got the name for it for sure. Sleepy Engineer.
It is pretty early in the morning for some people. So back to election. So we had a really good question yesterday on the show. Somebody asked, like, could there ever be in-app voting? You know, never leave your home voting. And it's a curious thought, but a dangerous thought. Like, it'd be very easy to exploit. We've had everything from paper polls to some electronic polls. I personally had the Scantron.
Yeah, the Scantron too.
Interesting. What other technologies could improve voting processes outside of just like text to vote?
Right. Well, one of the things I'm not incredibly informed on this, but one of the things that makes our electoral system safe is the fact that it's not connected to a massive network. And in order to have some sort of like vote by text or vote by your phone, you would have to. It'd be so hard to divorce that from the kind of connectivity and security issues that would make it challenging to implement. Though it would be wonderful in terms of get out the vote efforts if you made it so simple that anyone. But then you also raise these issues where could that be a disenfranchisement for people who can't afford to have powerful phones
or apps?
You know, like
I mean, I don't foresee polling places going away, but like you said, in the effort to get out and vote, what are things that could improve the process? Like as we said, we collectively here had a pretty pleasant experience. Yeah, there are lines. Yeah, it takes a couple minutes, but honestly, as I said before the show started, if the entire candidacy was as polite and smooth as my voting process went this morning, it would have been a much better year.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, that's because there's also laws saying that you can't campaign at a polling place. So maybe why it was polite is because people are legally not allowed to be rude about their candidate there.
People have broken the law before.
Yeah.
People are jerks. People
Yeah.
are buttheads.
It's what I'm saying is it's one place where there are limitations to free speech, and free speech is more important than like politeness.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yeah. That's
I
my
think it
point.
was more a matter. I think what Brian's saying though is it was less like there wasn't pushing or shoving or anything like that. That kind of
Yeah.
like, the decorum was there.
Yeah. Okay.
Here we go. Here's a really good point. Being that we're all so connected and online and registered for 1,000 different things that we opt into anyways, automatic registration.
Automatic with what? Like
With like voter
with
registration.
like your
Automatic
birth or,
voter
like,
registration.
when you
As
get a
soon as you turn
phone, or-
18, you're a registered voter instead of going through the process manually.
Oh.
If you were just a citizen, an electronic something.
Huh. I could see some validity to that. There are folks like me who are lazy and didn't register to vote for a while. So, yeah.
I find that a good idea. I think that is a good idea.
Like
if
whether
you-
or not, because it's
You skip one headache.
Yeah, it's still up to you whether or not you want to vote, but
Totally.
you get past the one hurdle. I mean, that was my big thing when I moved from LA to New York. Like, I was still voting in California for a little while, but after a while, like, I lost that right, and I
Right.
never registered in New York. So
The registration process can be very confusing.
yeah, can be. I mean, if you're starting from zero, from scratch, yeah. I mean, it's pretty easy.
And what
to
if it did
Google
just?
things.
I mean, what if it just automatically followed you? Like if you did change, if you moved and you didn't have to go through
That would be
the
huge.
redistricting.
If it followed you from district to district or state to state, that would be great. Like it was just sort of up to date. But yeah, again, it goes back to that's the whole bringing innovation technology, but that also brings security concerns and issues with I don't know. I think that's
of course, it's all. I mean,
that's largely. I feel like that's why we haven't really progressed in terms of voting technology is the fear that
oh, we're just pipe dreaming here.
yeah, we are. I guess so.
I would be interested to see that. I think that's a really good idea. Ben, thank you for suggesting that. Any other ideas while
Is
we're
that
still
the
here for
same
a few
Ben
minutes?
from yesterday?
I think so. I'm not 100% certain. It could very well
Welcome
be.
back, Ben, if you're the same guy.
And if you're not, welcome, period.
There you go.
Sylvian says none. Keep it low tech. Keep it fair. If you want to make a vote, make the effort. That's also a really, really good
Yeah,
point.
valid point.
Yeah, absolutely.
Well, we're saying like by making it too easy to vote, then that has its own issues, right? Like that invites like the trollish element to come in, right? Like having that requiring that extra effort to go out and vote definitely kind of weeds out folks who would vote as a joke.
Yeah, that's a good point too. A lot of good points today.
Voting McBoatface.
Baked Potato Game says, I mean, my Google Assistant knows what city I'm in. Why can't the voting registration? Why can't the registers? No,
It's difficult, man.
it is.
Yeah.
Just walk around with the Google Assistant. Let Google Assistant vote for you.
Oh, that's a really bad idea. That
Alexa,
is a
make
bad-
the right decision.
I know that is a bad precedent set right
It is
there.
Ben from yesterday. Hi, Ben. Thank you again for
Right
joining
on.
us. We're happy to have you.
Welcome back.
We got some anti-Hyperloop sentiment.
Oh, okay.
Um,
Please share.
Well, I mean, obvious the danger aspect.
Yeah.
The Hyperloop is basically an unrealistic concept. If there is a break in the tube or a change in pressure too great, it'd be a train hitting the passengers.
That's true,
Yeah.
right? Like it's supposed to be like this complete seal, and that's what helps with the achieving all those intense speeds. So if there's ever like a crack or if it gets punctured at any point,
Absolutely. But I mean, these are risks that were taken for the space shuttle, for submarines,
right?
for the original automotive to an extent. Anytime they want to make a leap forward in technology, especially transportation where there are bodies within a device,
Yeah.
that you got to take risks. And I mean, I'm sure they're sparing no expense. That's not
I'm
their
I'm
MO.
all for it, man. Like I said, if I can get to LA in an hour, sign me up.
And the concept is an exercise in Japan.
It is?
No, I think I misread this. I apologize. I think he's stating the registration concept we were speaking about before is
okay.
in effect in Japan.
Got it. Oh. No, that makes a lot of sense. You like remove a hurdle, but you still have to be you still have to make the effort to go out and vote.
I agree. Yeah. All right. I think that's a good place to end it for today.
All right then.
Thanks, everybody. Thanks,
Excellent.
Ben.
And
Go out
everybody.
and get out and vote. If
And
you haven't,
everyone.
please go out and vote.
And
our U.S. listeners, at least,
good,
please.
yes,
go out
U.S.
vote.
listeners, and
Yes.
good luck to everyone. Hope your experience was as pleasant as ours.
Yeah. If you liked anything you saw or heard here, check us out on CNET. Our podcast is also available on iTunes, TuneIn, Stitcher, SoundCloud, FeedBurner, and Google Play Music. See y'all tomorrow.
Bye bye.